Right, good evening. I see we've got 4 viewers already. I know it's a bit short notice and all those things, but thank you for joining. Obviously, I expect more people to come in time. So I'm right at the beginning, trying to set up everything, explain still loading, doing flight planning. You guys are welcome to chat a bit, your thing. That's useless runway. Why don't we take 20? Why not? Really useless takeoff, but it's there. Takes us to that waypoint. Oh no. Oh no. This may be an updated flight aware. Updated flight. Let's have a look. See. Let's see. See. Oh, that is still the same flight. Right, so on the arrival, got to for left. 3, 20, and we go for 20. Hello, Umur. Look in the show notes below the video. Let me actually copy it. Let me put it on screen. Yeah, hold on. Zibo worked on the autopilot roll modes because some of the guys are complaining that with explain the real weather, it's rolling excessively. So it's about it. Right, pin message. There you go. Now it's pinned at the top. So yeah, that's one of the things I need to do now is I want to fly with explain aerial weather and just check it out, get it on video so Zibo can have a look when he's ready. And do ILS 23. There's no lap. Nope, look like it. What a strange departure. Okay. Right, so for the test, I'm using my second copy of Explain. I do not have Linda with me. Need to make sure that this thing is up to date. 36A. There we go. Right. As a matter of interest, did I actually update this thing to the latest Explain? Yeah. We might as well calibrate this guy because it's notoriously bad when I jump between the versions. Right, so export copy to clip. Let's go build this thing. Oh, yes. Yeah, that is. go generate this plan. Habitab. Why did the Habitab stuff not go? Oh, yes, you know, I'm an idiot. To the other side. See why I don't see it. Be. See if that works. There's plans. Oh, Hey, Mikma. Great stuff. Yeah. I thought at the end of my evening I might as well do this test flight. I never got a chance to fly today. This is my first time today, so
I
I might as well do the
I
test.
think you cannot be here on the streaming.
Why not?
Not sure. I had to connect on Discord to hear you.
It says I'm broadcasting. Mikma, can you hear me? Umar, can you hear me on YouTube? I haven't been speaking that much. Maybe I'm just speaking too softly. That's also possible. Hello, Marka. Anyway, how are you? Oh, they say
All
they
well,
can.
thank you. No, no, I hear now. Yeah, it can,
Okay.
but it's low, but yes, can be here. Sorry,
Yeah.
but
No
it's very
problem.
low.
No problem. All right. Thank you, Umar. I wonder why it would be so soft. Look, I am speaking soft. Okay. I must be honest. I'm not using my old normal voice because my wife's watching TV and my son's walking around here. Just now they throw me with something. Hello, Aso. Also, yeah, it's not just the elevator trim thing. It's all about the whole way that the controls work was changed. Okay, so you've got the old system, the X-plane kind of compatible system. Good evening, Scotsman. And then you've got the new Zibo control system. So it all depends on which one you are using. And then, I mean, it's all in the install guide. Okay, so you have to choose one. Either you go the old route, then you have to set up your own curves, or you take the new route with the Zibo code, and then you don't have to do anything. It does it for you in terms of the curves. So you're going to have to specify which one you are using. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we can talk about it in the air. I can maybe show you. Let me just get going and we can talk about it again. Just remind me. But it's always, always advisable to go read that install guide, and I'm not saying it to be an asshole. I'm saying it because it's for your own good. All the new stuff get published there. I mean, I know you guys can't watch every single one of my videos, but we first discuss all the new stuff here, then it goes to the manual. So I try and cover, both areas and everything as much as possible. So let me just give you in quickly. Let me just tell you what it's all about. If you go to your, where is it, hardware? Under the hardware, you've got this new setting, yoke input advanced. If that thing is on, okay, you can't go and set curves, okay, and you have to have all your sensitivities pulled over to the left. Okay, you see there, all the sensitivities are to the left. Because the moment you put 1% in there, you're augmenting the Zibo code, and you don't want to do that. So if that thing is on in your hardware configuration, yoke input advanced, we're not using the Zibo, we're not using the explain laminar controller code anymore. We're using the Zibo code. So if it's off, you're back to normal. And that's usually the big trick here with everybody. Mr. Singh, good evening. Abiola, I see you smiling there. Right, let's get this story going.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Right at the top, I've pinned it. Yeah, in chat, look at the very top. It should be pinned in white. Can you not see that? Guys, tell me. If you can't see it, we need to know. Otherwise, you go into the show notes below the video. The changelog is there as well. But you should be able to see the pinned chat at the top. Just go to the very top in chat, click on that pinned message. Right, great stuff. Hello, Akbar. Yeah, I'm okay. I hope you're okay. Nice to see you again. Hello, Papa Mike. Yes, excellent. If you see it, you see it. I like this stream. You guys are actually talking with. So cool. Hello, Marius. Welkom. Yeah, I'm not sure Zibo's finished with it yet. Okay, I'm not sure about that. I know in principle he's finished. But I mean, if you look at the changelog tonight, he's still working on the roll modes, things like that. So, yeah, in time it will come. The ASU is on because of the temperature. You see here, Scotsman, I've got that little script of Antonio running in the background. And if I don't get to 21 degrees Celsius, the guy's going to complain that the cabin is too cold. So that's why I use the ASU, because it needs to take it to about 21 degrees. That's the reason. Oh, you know what? I haven't set the weather. I need to change this. We want the real world weather. So, Scotsman, if you're using real weather, just for your information, this is a tweak to the roll modes. Okay, so we are hoping that it will be less rolly in the air.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Check that. Who is correct? One zero is 2982. Ooh, up 2982. I heard who was complaining on Facebook today. It was not even midday and he had 81 degrees Fahrenheit in his home. I was giggling. As you guys can see, this is my test version of Explain. I didn't even update the database yet, damn it. Good evening, Steve. Hello, Krister. Yes, sir. Update 36A now. Zibo tweaked the roll modes for the guys complaining about explain real weather and the rolling of the Zibomod. Hello, Mikma. Didn't know you joined us here on Discord. Okay, let's go check. Okay, looks like we're in Turkey. No worries, Mikma, you're welcome to chat. And right, so we have a semi-vector takeoff. We might as well close the gap there. So, terrible. Yeah, we'll just switch over very quick. In actual fact, you know what? We are going in that direction. Let me just do this. There we go. That's a very short route, guys. Very, very short. I don't even know how I am supposed to fly here. Let me actually have this. A very short route. Okay, it's got me at 280. Right. problem. Okay, the other thing I want to test is obviously the cruise winds. Whether we will have any cruise winds in a short flight like this, I don't know. But I did report the issue with uploading the cruise winds. Just hoping that Zibo fixed it without just mentioning it. We'll see. Yeah. Let's go with it. Right, we are fully loaded. Happy. Now we're running away.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check and all call, thank you.
Hey,
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
U51. There. Let's go ahead and select. It's all good. Seems to be all working. 1, 2, 3. This will stop setting these things.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Right, so just
Okay.
to
All
remind
doors
you,
and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
this is explain real weather. Otherwise, we can't really test it because Xenvara just does not have the same problem. Right, and altitude with you are 600. Oh,
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
fly fuel goes in. I moved it physically because I forgot when I started the flight, Krister, it was in the full right position. So I had to quickly bring it in line so that it doesn't interfere with the tug. Ish. Yeah, you see, Scotsman, this is now addressing the roll mode that we're doing today. Let's see if that has any effect. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, no, Kristen, no. I had to move my physical lever. Otherwise, what happens is this thing goes like on a tangent. It goes haywire. There's the fuel. Go. Done, done, and done.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
This is open. Let's go on. Anyone see? I don't know, I'm hoping. I specifically came to do this flight, Papa Mike, because of the weather. Okay, so if you look on windy.com and you look the weather between here and Toronto, it's filthy weather. So I'm hoping for a bit of a rock and roll here, you know. Nice test. Hoping.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Let's go on. Yes, Scotsman. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Esther.
Approaching 2-5.
I know what you mean.
On runway 25.
Right now there is a bit of a crosswind here. Supposed to be, so I think they said it's like 12 knots or something. We'll have to check. I'm feeling it. Yeah.
V1.
Okay. It's up thick. Gear up. Thank you, Scotsman. That was a nice takeoff, actually. Wow. Yeah. You know what? Let me show you. I looked at the wrong airport. I've got it here. I'll show you. It's the other one. Look, it's 15 knot crosswind on the runway landing. So that, my friend, is my mistake. I looked at the wrong airport. Yeah, now you're looking at the same one as now, or me as you. Alright, flaps up. Right, there it's pulling back up out of the cutback. Now it's a question of just, ooh, look at that rain. Keeping an eye on this rolling that you guys are complaining about, if it still does that. Rister, I don't know, my friend. On the forum, there are quite a few guys that are complaining that the aircraft rolls left and right on its axis because of real-world weather. And this is Zibo's attempt one now again of trying to stabilize that, because in X-Enviro, I don't have it either. It just doesn't happen. So it's obviously related to the alumni research real weather. That's what we're trying to figure out now. Well, Christer, you see, this brings up an interesting topic. We don't know if the other guys actually installed the thing correctly, whether they shouldn't just delete the Zibomod and make a fresh copy. You know, there are a lot of variables, but I mean, I'm just doing my job right now in testing it. If I don't get it right now either, okay, there's a good chance that the people complaining need to just delete their Zibomod and make a new one. You know, that there could be something there. Because we've seen it a few times on the forum in the last couple of weeks where people complain bitterly. Then they go and delete their Zibomod, make a new one, and the problem's gone. And it's, I'm not talking about exactly the same error, obviously, no. But it could very well be part of the rolling issue. There could be third-party interference from plugins or add-ons. You know, I don't know. At the end of the day, we have to look at it, see if we can replicate it. If we can't replicate it, we can't fix it. You know, and then it could very well just be a bad installation or a bad system it's running on. Just tilt my head a bit down. I won't be worried too much about the yoke rolling. What I'm worried about is the artificial horizon. You know, it's one thing if the yoke rolls because it's now being manipulated by the autopilot, but once that horizon starts rolling, you know, that's an indication of a problem. Until that thing rolls, this means nothing to me. It could be part of it, Christer. Imagine you're holding a straw in front of you, right? You're looking at the aircraft from behind, and it's literally like porpoising when you go up and down with the nose. Now it's the wings rolling left, right, left, right. Same thing, it's like porpoising on the wings. So it's like, look at it from the back, and then the wings go left, right, left, right. Look at that weather, oh my goodness. Christer, yeah, up and down is one thing, but rolling on the axis, left and right on the wing, while the nose is stationary, basically pointing in one direction. That's tonight's test. Now, when I look at that rolling and I look at the weather, okay, well, I'm not expecting anything less than this. This is exactly what I'm expecting. So I can't see that this is a problem. This is real. This is the way it should be. Yeah, but still, this weather, you know, is influencing that. So, okay, here's another thing to take into consideration. The wind in X-Flight, real world weather, is very abrupt and it changes direction in a millisecond, you know. Now, if I look at the wind seems to be rather stable. It's not moving, changing direction, okay? So now this becomes splitting of hairs, because who says this is right? Who says this is wrong? And yet there are people who feel it's wrong. But I mean, you're flying in absolute crap weather. Look, now you're out of the clouds. Now you're in clear air again. See, it immediately stops. Which should tell anybody, look, this is weather induced. If it's at the right magnitude, that's now the other question. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. And I'm still fiddling here with this stupid thing. I need to go and learn all these things where everything is situated again, I promise you. I haven't looked at this in so many months. I can't remember where everything is.
What are you looking for, Nico?
I'm looking for this FO callouts. Sorry, I just found it. It's under callouts. I need to have my first officer do some callouts for me because Linda isn't here. See, now in this, let's call this clear air before we get to the clouds again, right? In this scenario, if this thing rolls now we can argue about the fact that it shouldn't roll. But once it's in the weather, in the clouds and all, I mean, what do you expect? We're not driving on rails. Anyway, it's for Zibo to determine if he's happy. That's why we do this on video.
Thousand to go.
Yeah, I get it, Scotsman. Exactly, Krister. It's all very strong. I don't know how many of you guys have been in a thunderstorm with a 738. I have. I promise you, you've got to bloody hold on for dear life. That thing, as big as it is, it's nothing in the clouds. It's nothing in the wind. It's nothing in that rainstorm. I promise you. It's like a little feather. Check if speed brakes causes porpoising in the descent. Oh, mine never does, so that will be interesting if it does it tonight with this weather, if it's weather related. But Papa Mike, I use my speed brakes a lot, and I've never seen that. Exactly, Steve. I know, Scotsman. Thank goodness it doesn't get stuck in your loop, I promise you. So I'm looking down at my coffee, and there's a bloody gnat in the coffee. Ah, fortunately it's almost done. For sure, Scotsman, for sure. See, Papa Mike, this is a difficult thing to answer you. I don't know. Like you saw on the forum in that big discussion we had, some of the guys went, deleted their Zibomod, reinstalled a fresh copy, problems went away. It could be due to calibration, it could be so many different things, but I promise you, you can look at most of my videos. I think 1 in 5 videos I might not use my speed brake. I always, almost always use it. You know, I never have any porpoising. See, now look at this, right? We're in a cloud again. I mean, we're in a cloud. And it appeared there for a second to be rolling left, right, but there, it's stable again. When they armed, they don't open up. Yes, I think Krister means when they are deployed. No, they're not supposed to open up when they're armed. What the heck, is that top of descent already? Look at that! Nico is sitting here testing and not concentrating. ILS. We need to descent 3000. Right. 6. I never even tested the winds. Just requested quickly 271 at 42. Let's see if it changes in it. Nope, still nothing. Still not working. Okay. Dan toch niet laat. Ach, het op waar het wat. I didn't even calculate the ISA. Worried about that. 3 600 kilos. Setting to 77. Yeah, that's another bugger, is the speed brake noise, the access and the noise. 37. Just get yourself some spray. I actually got myself some spray for my honeycomb in the week. I just haven't used it, but I'll get to it as well, because I've got a couple of these pods that are now jumping on me. Okay, I think I've got everything. Papa Mike, what you need to also do, okay? The weeks are a bit tough for me at this point in time because I do double shift every day now. But on the weekend, make an effort, come sit here with us in Discord and let's see, you know, so we can see exactly and you can show us what's happening on your system. Yeah, I think we're talking about two different noises. We're not talking about the audio noise. We're talking about the pod, the resistor noise. Why is my sound cutting out? No idea. That's weird, man. There's our descent. Yeah, I don't know, Aviola. Hello, Magnus. All I can do is boost myself again. There you go. Now it's top volume. I can't boost myself anymore. Let me go check my sound settings, whether this Windows has reset itself again. I don't know. Let's have a look, see. Recording. Levels. Oh yeah, look at that. Please tell me that's better. How's that? That's probably because it was on 38 instead of 28. Unscheduled descent. There you go. Problem solved. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. Let me pull it back. Tell me how's that. Is that better now? Yeah, in the Windows sound settings, my microphone was set down. The level was at 50%. It's always supposed to be at 100%. So I'm terribly sorry. But is it okay now? Good. Yeah, I had to pull it back quickly in the mixer. Right, so Papa Mike, for your benefit, let's pull the speed brake. See if you notice any porpoising. Talking significant porpoising, not just the nose lifting like it's doing there. No, Christer, I'm not going to sing. I'm going to scare off all the people here. I don't see any porpoising, huh? I don't know why it's freezing on Discord. Never heard of that. Right, let's just stow the speed brake. Retard, retard. Sorry, Scotsman. Yeah, you can turn it down now. Yeah, it's supposed to theoretically, you know, react differently in a cloud and outside a cloud. Paco, I've got a couple. Experialistic is one. I struggle to fly without that thing. And then X camera is the other one. Christer, I understand the theory of the issue, but I don't see the issue. So maybe whatever Zibo tweaked, was the silver bullet. I don't know. Thanks, Mikma. Paco, the reason you don't see the weather in the Zibo is you probably enabled XHSI in the EFB. Go switch off XHSI and then you'll see it, because it's a laminar thing, it's built in. So that if you can't see it, there's a 99 out of 100 chance that you enabled XHSI. So just go disable it and then your weather should work. See, in Scotsman, one of the other things, and Christer as well, one of the other things is, because I use Xenviro, I never see the error the guys are talking about, because Xenviro doesn't do this magnificent switching of direction and magnitude in the weather like you get the changes in the laminar weather. Papa Mike, I've given up on the detents for the flaps and for the speed brake, okay? Because of the noise. So the speed brake here is very loosely, it works or it doesn't. And then for the flaps, I don't use the little flaps lever. On the top right-hand side, sorry, not the top, on the middle, on the right, below the autopilot button, there is a flaps little switch that you can move up and down. That is what I use for my flaps, because the noise on the pod just left of it, where my flaps lever is and used to be, is just silly. So I rather press that button, to make them go down, and I'll lift the button up to retract the flaps again. I know, Scotsman, I know. That's why I'm doing this flight now in Explain Real Weather. I'm running out of access to use Abiola. That's why I bought myself a canister of Spaniard electrical contact cleaner last week. Yeah, in the week, last week. So when I've got a chance, I'll go and spray this thing proper. See if we can clear out all the shavings and crap, the dust. Apparently so, Abiola. That's the whole purpose of the spray, is to clean out the contacts. If you've got little wear and tear bits of the pod that's worn out and stuck inside the pod, if you can get it out and clear dust and things, it should make it bright as new again. In theory, at least. You look at the aircraft, it's rolling now, right? So whether this is now what the people are seeing and then deciding it's a bug, I don't know. The yoke obviously moves way more than the flight director. And like I said before, I'm not worried about the yoke because it obviously is trying to compensate the whole time. What I'm worried about is that flight director. Exactly. Exactly. In the cloud. And the flight director, I mean, there it moves, but it's not as hectic as the actual yoke. But again, what do you expect? You're in a cloud. There's forces working in on the system. Oh, it's a big cloud, this one, eh? I mean, it's in the milk completely. And in the rain, look at that. I mean, we in a storm. And the other thing that I'm worried about is also go and check this thing. I don't know if it's in here. XHSI, you see it's off. So that brings up another question. We had weather displayed the other few minutes ago, you know, just a couple of minutes ago. But now it's like, it's not enough rain. There's enough that you can see you're in the star field, but it's not enough to even reflect over there. See, the fact that it eventually stabilizes, it's not in that loop you were talking about, Scotsman. The fact that it stabilizes from time to time tells me it's weather induced. It's not code. Maybe the code, you know, was a bit too relaxed before. I don't know. Maybe it's tuned a bit, but well, I know it's tuned. Maybe it's tuned better, but exactly, Christer. Look at the wind, it is shifting now. Obviously because we're turning. Negative. We're in and out, in and out. Yeah, there's not enough time to really worry about going in that deep now, Marco. We're gonna land now. You know, one of the reasons I never look at the yoke when I'm flying is it keeps on catching my eye. It'll drive me nuts if I have to look at this thing twitching in front of me the whole time. It will absolutely drive me insane. I think so too, Scotsman. We're semi out the cloud now. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
Hey, Maddox.
Hello.
Yeah, no, I didn't steal the scenery, by the way. I did pay for it. I just didn't know how orthos worked. And then I
Okay.
video. Yeah, I looked
Yeah.
up a video and it fixed everything.
Okay. Cool. It's an Airbus. It's a Boeing bus. Not an Airbus, a Boeing bus. Scotsman's funny. Let's see.
Are you live?
Yes. We're on
Oh.
YouTube. Hey, Joe. Joe, yes and no. I don't think it's going to be that violent continuously in the real world. It obviously will move, but I've never seen it that violent. To me, this is that yoke movement is a bit overdone, but that's just me. Thanks, Scotsman.
Radio altimeter.
Baie geluk. Thank you, Christer. Hey, Greg. Yeah. There's nothing in this whole flight that I can say, oh, that is absolutely wrong. Let's kill it. Make something new. Fix it. You know? For me, any and everything I saw was kind of like, we're not flying on rails, you know? This thing is going to move. And the fact that it stopped when we were out of the clouds and things like that, thank you. It changes, you know, my worries a bit. There we go. Thank you so much, Mikma. Yeah. You buy him a Coke and a chocolate, and then he's happy.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Approaching 2, 3.
Approaching decision height. 300. Minimums. 200. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Yeah, that was not bad. Thank you so much.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Hey, Vaughan. Ah, it's not bad at all. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Akbar. Thanks, Craig. I enjoyed that. No, that's why you guys are here. Just don't touch my leg. Okay, that's you know, the only prerequisite. Hey, John, I'm good, and how are you doing? Give me a second, guys. I have another plan. Now, Scotsman, I already closed. I don't know if it will remember that replay, but I've got another plan. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm sure. Ah, crap. Kill. Die. Yes. Scotsman. Let's see. Thunder, I'm glad I see you. I need to speak to you afterwards if possible. Okay, cool. Right, okay, so the plan is this. I just checked my watch. It's just past 10 p.m. and this wasn't a very long flight, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same flight but with XNVARA, and then we're going to check the same parameters, see if it works. I just thought to myself as I'm taxiing there, you know what, it's still early. I know it's late, but it's still early. We can do this. Nice one, Scotsman. Hello, Thunder.
Hello, Nico. And everyone else.
Hi, Thunder. Glad you can join.
Thank you. Glad I'm here, and I'm glad I was able to make it.
Cool. Hope this thing doesn't crash because of that stupid toolbar thing. Hope I closed it quick enough. Looks like it's going. Thank you, Krister. Have a good one. Right, okay. So no Linda. Let's see. This is 36A.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
No, you're not in trouble. I'm actually a little bit embarrassed by what I'm going to tell you. That's why I want to speak to you alone. And it's not something you and I did. It's something I saw that I need to tell you about. Before those guys move again. Oh, don't need you. Thank you. Wrong direction. Done. Two 984. I'm trying to set up as quick as possible, gents, so we don't waste too much time. This would be bless you. We said we're going to take up vectors. Mikma, I'm not sure if I'm understanding you correctly, but you need to change your units over here, or are you saying that X-Plane itself gives it to you on the map, for instance, or something like that? What exactly do you mean? I'm a bit lost there, sorry.
Just try and call up ATC and ask for
Oh, okay. No. Okay, sorry. Now I understand. All right, I don't use that, so I wouldn't know. Never used it. Never ever used it.
I tried many major airports in Canada, and just about Toronto gives it in the US format.
Wow. Okay. That deserves 2.5. Scotsman, yes, that is true. But what he's saying is that disregarding his setting, that there are airports that give, instead of inches, they give millibar. That's what he's saying.
I filed it at the bug reports, that preliminary research,
Okay.
And they're supposed to probably fix it in the next or second next upcoming updates.
Gotcha. $148.
Flight attendants prepare for departure. Cross-check and all call. Thank you.
Start this baby up. 1, 2, 3.
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Thank you, Trish. Shall shout. Just wait for the APU, then we'll get off the GPU. Ooh, we've got 2 minutes left on the alignment of the IRS. Look how quick I was. My goodness. I'm sitting looking at these displays and I go, huh? Hello, Toby. Yeah, we saw. We had a nice landing, crosswind landing there, 12 knots from the side just now. This is the second flight. We're going to do the same flight over again. Swing it. Just put the jocks back just for safety's sake. There we go, alignment. Goes the fuel. Right, are you guys ready?
Ready?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, Gav, okay? Hey, Twixter. Welcome.
Hello, Nico.
How are you doing?
Okay, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon here. I just happened to notice you were live streaming.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah, sorry, I've been fairly quiet lately, but I've had a lot of things going on in my personal life.
No worries.
Some good, some bad. So,
I'm sorry to hear the bad. Yeah.
I don't want to go into great detail here, but
No, don't.
I'm not
Don't
working right now. I had a medical issue pop up that's going to get corrected, but I'm without a medical certificate right now, so I can't fly.
Ish. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it now. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Right now, I just keep my crap shut here and just watch what you do.
That's it. Toga. Let's see. Beautiful. Twixter, question.
Go ahead.
I'm in heading select mode right now. Okay. Should my flight director not actually prompt me to follow the magenta line, or is it going straight because I'm in heading select? What's the operation there? Because right now, I don't know if it will switch on in LNAV mode, but look where my magenta line is going, and my flight director is not pointing me towards the line, if I can put it that way. See? Is this a bug?
I can't see your screen because I'm on my phone right now.
Okay.
So I can't see. I can't see your display.
Sorry.
Does it say LNAV? Does it have LNAV in white and heading in green, or?
No, LNAV. I've actually switched the heading off. I've gone to LNAV. LNAV is in green now. Okay, and it's like it's kind of pointing me in the right direction, but I've got a feeling it's not working right. So okay, let's do it this way. Don't worry about it now. When you fly the Zibo next time, just check the operation of the flight director that it's actually following the way it should, because I'm not sure if it's correct. That's let's just call it that.
Since I can't see your screen very clear on my phone here.
Yeah.
Are you on a converging course with your LNAV course?
I was.
Or are you on a diverging course?
No, I was pointing more towards the line than not, because when I took off, it kind of went off to like a 45 degree at one point in time, and I was still going straight. And so I'm not sure if I did something wrong or what, but it's a question that I've been wondering about for a while.
Okay, well here's, now I'll be honest, how Zibo has coded it, I'm not certain of, because I rarely get involved with that aspect of it, as you're well aware.
Yeah.
However, if I see something obviously wrong, obviously I will send a message to Lubos and see if he can correct it, or if to see whether it's just an aberration. Now, here's the thing with heading select mode versus LNAV logic in normal cases in real life. The way I would operate, and of course, as you know, I don't fly the 737. I fly a different aircraft. But normally what I would do is I use heading alignment, heading select with LNAV armed. And what normally would occur is you're flying heading mode, or you can do it in roll mode too, which is without any guidance, just wings level. But take off, and then at 400 feet minimum, LNAV is allowed to engage. And if you're on a converging course and you're close to the first leg segment course, then LNAV should take over guidance and put you on course.
It should, yeah, it should catch it. Yes.
Yeah. Now, if you're either diverging, i.e., your heading is not in a converging mode with the LNAV course, or it is outside a minimum parameter, and to be honest, without looking in the FCOM or other documentation, I'm not sure what that limit is with the 737, and one of your 737 drivers ought to be able to tell you that. But if it is not within that limitation, it'll never come out of the heading mode and go into LNAV guidance.
Okay.
So it's a combination of two things, right?
Yes.
What's the current situation with your departure, and whether or not you need to use the heading mode. Well, what happens if it won't automatically transition is you usually have to, that means that you're likely going to be in a vector mode, and ATC will turn you on a vector that converges with the course and say something like turn left heading whatever, and join the departure, or it could be any number of different things. But once you then, of course, cross the course, it'll join that, it'll go green and start flying. So you may have to make a turn initially on your heading bug in order to get in a convergent course that puts you in a LNAV capture mode.
Okay, you've given me a couple of things to go and test. I'll get back to you on this one, because I've just been wondering a little bit about it. And believe it or not, this morning I actually saw guys discuss it on the forum as well. But I've been thinking about it for probably a week or two already.
Well, I've been doing some testing. I'm developing a new flight model that may or may not get released soon, depending on testing and tuning. But this is a major change. However, in the course of flying that, I've seen a couple of issues with LNAV and VNAV, but I haven't had time to run them down and see if they're programming errors or they're just coincidental with something I was doing during testing. So, but so it could very well be that there's a problem in the LNAV code that needs fixing, but without actually seeing in detail what you're doing.
It's difficult.
On this call, on my phone screen, it's hard to tell what's going on too much.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, and I hope that was helpful.
Yes,
at least
it was.
It'll give you an option to rule some things out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try checking those.
Absolutely. It could very well be, and I'm saying this with all love and respect to the guys, and it could well be just a lack of actual knowledge, I think that's...
Well, even for myself, that's quite often the case. You know, I mean, not all auto flight systems use the same exact logic and parameters.
Of course.
So they're fairly predictable in general. But an example of vertical navigation is one of those complexities, right? How it works is really dependent on the circumstance and how you have selected it. And the airplanes that I fly do not have auto throttle, so the pilot has to manage speed all the time, even in VNAV, by moving the throttle. And so that VNAV logic is very complex, but it's nowhere near as complex as what you have with auto throttles, where you have that extra parameter added of how the airplane manages vertical navigation. So but there can be many times, it's just a little thing, where your own personal knowledge of how the logic works may not be adequate, and that happens to experienced pilots too. So it's not just simmers that have this problem.
Sure. No, I understand it.
Yeah.
That's why I say I've got to be very careful. I don't want to insult the guys because even I need to go read up. Like, for instance, now the intercept heading is 45 degrees. I quickly Googled it. Okay. You need to be within 45 degrees of this thing before your LNAV will engage. All right. There is an exception to the rule with the new FMC software, where if you go to your legs page and you activate the next waypoint, you can be 180 degrees from it. It will actually turn around and go to it. You don't have to be on the 45 degrees angle. So you've got to be careful when you convey the message, because yes, it's 45 degrees, but if you know how to manipulate the FMC with the legs page, and then LNAV will actually draw the track and it will turn around 180 degrees and go back to find the next waypoint. It's actually very clever.
That is true.
Yeah.
I would just say, from a pilot's perspective, that, and this is only my personal habit, so what I'm talking about here is technique, but I think it's technique that keeps us safe. You analyze what the approximate course is to the fix you want to go to, and then in heading mode, swing the thing around in heading mode, and then engage the LNAV once you're heading in that direction. It's kind of a verifying process before you just arbitrarily let the airplane make a turn that is not visual on your MFD.
Yeah, that's how we were all taught. I mean, I've been doing that, what you're saying now, for years and years and years. I just happened to experiment now with all the new versions of the FMC software, and I figured out, you can do it now, because in the past you couldn't. It didn't allow you. Now you can. Yeah,
there's a lot of things that can be done in the logic. Like you say, some of my old school ways are, one could argue, okay, you don't have to do that, and I would agree. But a lot of it comes back to the old rule of thumb that always know not only where you're going, but where you're going next. In other words, every decision that the FMC makes, i.e. when updating course laterally or vertically, we want to be one step ahead of it logically. In other words, I'm thinking through everything it does. So when it makes a mistake, and usually those mistakes are because I programmed it wrong, we immediately notice it instead of diverging from our cleared course and then ending up with a violation.
Absolutely.
Or endangering somebody else, for that matter. But
absolutely.
Obviously, in the simulation, it's not as significant a problem, but in real life, obviously, it can be a major issue.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. So I think is, another thing I see a lot when we are talking about problems. You look on the, I'm not every day in the forum, but I try to review it with some regularity, at least scan the issues. And a common one is, is the old "what's it doing now" argument. Why did the FMS do this, or why did it do that? And so many times, not always, but so many times, it was because the pilot who programmed it did not exercise the most important step, which is, after programming, going back through the entire flight plan and making sure that every leg is logically correct.
Step through.
Sometimes that's where we find the problems ahead of time, correct them in the flight plan. And when you do an auto download, in particular, it's even more important when it's automatically downloaded to go through and check every leg against documentation, i.e. your clearance, and or back it up with a route map, especially when you're cleared via airways, for instance. Make sure that those airways are actually batching up with what you've been cleared to do. And if there's any question, then you usually catch the problem before it becomes one.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you, 100%. And you know how many times I have told my guys, always step through. And the flippin' next stream I do, I forget. You know, and it's a habit. I always do it, and then I forget, and then I get in trouble.
Simulation, right? You know,
Yeah.
you're really familiar, so you don't follow the checklist per se. You just go
Yeah.
through and you set everything up the way you've done it 1,000+ times, and it's very easy to miss something when we get distracted. I've done it
Yeah.
myself many times in the simulation. I just want to get airborne to test something. I don't want to spend 15 minutes setting up. So there are times I will take off to do an aerodynamic test flight where I don't even bother to initialize the FMC. You know,
Yeah.
I just know what
Yeah.
my takeoff weight is. I set the D2 speed in the or the D2 speed in the window. Set up my heading bug, put in an altitude select, and off I go. And of course, when you do that, sometimes things happen that you didn't expect.
Exactly.
Like, you know, you didn't program the cabin altitude, and then you get a pressurization issue. So, you know, I mean, there are things that happen to the best of us that, and it usually comes back to these shortcuts that we do when we're trying to accomplish something in the sim. And so I don't obviously beat myself up over that too much.
No.
But I go, darn it, you know, if I took the time to run the checklist every time, which is what is correct to do in real life and in simulation, we'll just say in simulation it is a luxury to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's a bad habit if you don't do it.
Yeah, I
So,
understand.
Yeah, if I'm actually flying with somebody else, which is a rare occasion, right, where you got two pilots involved in the simulation, then you know, it's checklist every time.
Absolutely.
Because that helps keep everybody in sync.
Absolutely.
But,
No.
yeah,
I agree.
and that will be a case when I finish my home flight next. And I really don't want to be flying that single pilot. I know a lot of guys do. They spend a lot of money and a lot of time building a home flight simulator, you know, a complete cockpit, and then fly it around single pilot, which, like it or not, is just not realistic. But we don't always have a buddy down the street who can come and join us for a simulator session.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right.
So it's easy to develop bad habits because we're doing stuff that we'd not really do in the real airplane. I would never think of flying without somebody in the right seat in any jet airplane. So why would I do it in the simulator? I think that's the nature of simulation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
while we're talking, I just want to quickly touch on this. I think the guys watching the stream now can agree with me. With Enviro, this aircraft is extremely stable. All right, this story about rolling on the wings, you know, like it with porpoise, the nose. All of these things seems to be related to explain real world weather, because the moment I switch it off, it goes away. The moment I switch to Enviro, it goes away. The guys, you can watch the first half of the stream as well. I did the flight initially in explain real weather. Now I'm back to Enviro. It's a totally different experience. I mean, this thing is so stable now, it's not even funny. Very stable.
I think here's my opinion on that, and I've held this position for a while. To my own detriment, I have not tried to pursue this with laminar. You know, I've got enough things on my shelf without spending time trying to. But I probably should at least submit my opinion with laminar, and that is that, you know, they have timed it down some, right? We know that it's gotten better with the latest 12.1 release, but it's still a problem. And that is that I still think that variable winds is number one problem, because the way they interpret variable winds is too abrupt.
Yes, it's too abrupt, I know.
Yeah, it should be far less prominent than what it currently is. And
Yeah.
then you add on top of the variable winds, which, if you think about it, if my winds shift, I'll just use an example. If my wind shifts 90 degrees, even if I only have like a 5 or a 10 knot wind, that means an abrupt initial change in indicated airspeed due to inertia.
Yes.
When you see your airspeed bouncing around a little bit and the wind is shifting, that causes an effect aerodynamically. Now, I'm going to back up just a little bit on that, and it's finding the right balance on how to deal with that. We're actually trying to fix a problem that's not related to the flight model, as you know. We're trying to fix a problem that's related to the way Laminar has programmed the flight physics engine, right? The two terms are not interchangeable. When we say flight model, often Laminar is referring to the flight physics model, whereas we're referring to the airplane flight model, which is two different things. So how the flight model interprets the flight dynamics or the flight physics is an issue. But if we're trying to fix a problem that's not realistic, i.e., we're talking about these shifting winds, the variable winds problem, then essentially I'd break the regular FM in order to try and fix a problem in the basic engine. So here's what's happening and why the wings roll. If I make the airplane stable in yaw, all right, what happens is if it's too stable, and you've heard me say many times, I don't use artificial stability in the flight model. No.
Yeah.
That's why controllers are such an important issue, as we've seen for the last, several months discussion.
Yes.
But when you don't use any artificial stability, then the airplane is going to be more sensitive in the simulator than many of the ones that are put out by other people.
Yes.
That's a good and a bad thing. To the average simmer, it's a bad thing because he feels like the airplane is unstable. But that has more to do with the controller and how we fly the airplane technique-wise, i.e., how we learn to use trim, etc. So that's a downside. The upside is if I'm not using artificial stability, then the airplane is going to react aerodynamically correct. So now here's what happens. If I have too much longitudinal stability, i.e. if I put a force on the tail, it's resistant to be displaced from center. Now, with a yaw damper, that's what yaw dampers do, right? They automatically respond to induced yaw, though they have very limited authority, right? Usually only, I think in the 737, it's between 1 and 2 degrees, depending on flap configuration and speed. So, but if there's too much yaw stability, i.e. the airplane responds well to those winds, just like in a helicopter, those forces will translate from one axis to another. So if there's too much stability in yaw, then what'll happen is the airplane will roll instead of yawing.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
All right. And then anybody who knows how helicopters fly, you put in a pitch or you put in a change in the stick, and actually it has to put in a change in the rotors. It has to put a change in 90 degrees off where you want to go, because that's how gyroscopic forces work. Well, we have that similar kind of thing goes on in the flight model in real life.
Yes.
So in this case here, I have talked with Zibo a little bit about this, that, he says he's only using very small yaw stability with the yaw damper, i.e. it's not too effective, but it may be too effective in combination with the yaw stability characteristics that I'm using, i.e. How the airplane responds aerodynamically. So now I haven't really pursued it really heavily recently because I'm spending all the time to develop the new flight model that I'm working on. And you might ask, well, the flight model's pretty good. Why am I come up with a whole new flight model? It has mostly to do with, even though it's flying well, the overall drag thrust model didn't, it turns out, match Boeing as close as we want it to. We want to get as close to the real Boeing numbers as we can. Now that's very objective, right? Because where do you get the data from? And until recently, we didn't discover there was a Boeing engineering document that we could use that had a lot of these parameters in it.
Sure.
And I could see by looking at it how far off our model was. It wasn't that far off, but nonetheless, we had more drag overcome with, thrust and lift, etc., than the real Boeing one. So I thought, okay, now I'm going to redesign the flight model to get that overall drag coefficient as close to the Boeing numbers as I can.
Sure.
Right, and so that starts a whole cascade of changes because if you change the lift versus if you change the lift coefficients, you change the drag coefficients, everything else gets affected. The lift and the thrust. Next thing you know, the entire flight model is getting completely redesigned.
Gotcha.
And that's not as simple as a lot of people think, because in our flight model, 98% of the way it flies is all in the airfoils themselves that are used.
Yes.
So, because like I said, we don't use artificial stability. So as a result, I have to go through and I have to redesign all of these airfoils that have taken years and years to perfect to modify them for the lower drag model. So
Gotcha.
The end result, it'd probably fly very similar to the old one, but in the end, the raw numbers will be much closer to the real airplane numbers.
Understand.
That's our goal. And of course, that means nothing to anybody but Zibo and me pretty much, unless the airplane doesn't fly right when we do it.
Can I tell you something? There's a lot of us guys who it means a lot to as well. So don't sell yourself short. It means a lot to all of us. Promise you.
Well, I appreciate that. The biggest issue is I don't have every day to work on it like I used to. So getting results takes longer. As I've said many times to people, when I first started working with Lubos on this, it's back in 2017.
Yes, sir.
Over almost 7 years now, there's been a lot of development. That first couple of years of development, I was able to work on it every day, sometimes for as much as 8 or 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Today, it's kind of the inverse of that. I'm lucky if I'm ever to get to it every 7 or 8 days and spend a couple hours at a time. So,
well,
that was because of my
Sorry. No, I just wanted to say, I mean, I've been involved now just over 7 years, and since the 1st of January 24, I'm in the position where I don't get much time to do it anymore anyway. So I spend weekends with it, and then in the week when I can, and like now, put some hours in
ebbs
there.
and flows, right? I mean, we all have that, and same thing's going on with Zibo. There's times when he's so busy, he has hardly even time to check in.
Yeah,
and
like now.
You're probably well aware of that more than anybody.
Yeah.
Right? And so I know, I mean, if he needs something from me, he mentions it. If I don't hear from him, it's usually just because he's busy.
Yeah.
And then he respects also that my availability has changed too. So him and I are not as in contact as often as I'd like to be, but that's true for both of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. No, well, you see the way we talk with each other. I had a one-liner with him last night weekly when he gave me this copy, and that's how fast he is, and all he keeps on saying to me is, "No, I'm busy." Lubos, if you're watching, it's fine. We're waiting for you, but you know what I'm saying? Life's happening, and life's happening very fast, eh? So,
and I'm, like I said, I'm not working right now, which in theory gives me more time, but it also means I'm focused on correcting the issues that caused me to lose my medical. And it is correctable.
Good.
But it definitely has an impact, it's not just a time issue, it's also a stress-related issue.
Yeah, of course.
When you unexpectedly find yourself unable to work in this particular case, because I'm not legal to work without a medical,
Mm.
then that's a huge stress thing, right?
It is.
I'm 70 years old now, but I'm still an active pilot, at least as long as I have a medical certificate. I'm still fully capable, of passing all my proficient. Matter of fact, and this is off subject, but just to go show you how stressful that is, only 2 weeks before I failed my medical in April for a temporary problem, I had just spent $20,000 US out of my own pocket to go do my recurrent training.
Wow.
Right, because I wasn't working for anybody. I was private contracting flying.
Yes, yes.
So you can imagine, if I had just gotten my medical 2 weeks earlier, I'd have had the problem before I spent $20,000 out of my own pocket.
Yeah.
So,
Damn it.
What it turned out is, and I don't want to go into detail here because of time and other issues, but.
And you're live on YouTube, right?
Right now, I'm just watching you in.
Yeah, I'm just saying, the guys are listening to you and so on, so rather not go too personal now.
That's all right. I'm not going to get into details. It just basically, I had an AFib event. Anybody who's familiar with AFib, that immediately will cause it. It happened during my medical. So just the day before, I'd had a personal family tragedy. So I was obviously under stress.
Of course.
So I went in and I was in atrial fibrillation, didn't even know it.
Shame.
My flight surgeon sent me to the hospital, and I went in there and they tried to correct it. They couldn't. So the next day they did what they call a cardiovert. I call the Frankenstein treatment, right? They put the paddles on you, electrocute you, and that cleaned it up. And I haven't had a problem since.
Good.
However, that means I've got to jump through a lot of hoops to get my medical back, which is perfectly doable. I've already seen the FAA's specialist, etc. So it's just waiting on some red tape right now. It'll probably take me another 30 to 60 days. I'll have my first class flight medical back, and I'll be able to go back to work.
Excellent.
In the meantime, that's 6 months of sitting and waiting.
Yeah. Well, at least we've got you in the Zibo team, so you need to come sit here more often now and chat with us.
Well, we will try to do that. My first priority is, I say a priority that's high on the list, is to get some of those training videos out that I had promised to do 4 months ago.
Sure.
And I need to start working on those. And obviously, I'm spending time on my home flight deck build, try to get it done so it doesn't turn into a 10-year project.
Yeah.
Like happens to so many people. So,
yes. I get it.
Between the three, and then once I go back to work, of course, then that's a good thing, though. But then I have less time available, so I need to try and make the best use I can of the time that I have.
Just what I wanted to say. Just do your best, man. Just do your best. We love you, Twixter, and we want you to be okay in any case. So don't stress, man. Don't overdo it.
Well, one of the good things is when you have a problem like that. All right, I have had every test under the sun for every possible system in my body. I mean, I've had full body scans, I've had X-rays, I've had blood work, I've had nuclear stress ECGs. I've had a dozen different tests, and I'm in very good shape for a 70-year-old.
Excellent.
That's good. My heart is actually very healthy. So they don't always know what causes these atrial fibrillation. Anybody out there who's had it knows what it's all about. But it's just has to do with aberrant electrical activity in your heart, and it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with your heart's health. As strange as that sounds. So, but I'm basically fine now. Unfortunately, it happened while I was taking a flight physical.
Yeah. Bad timing. But you know what? God knows what He's doing, Twixter. Just give Him a chance to.
That's right. And then that's the hardest lesson in life to learn. And even at my age, I still struggle with that. Is to trust and to just not not try to stress and worry over everything that happens, just because worry does not change outcomes.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Anyway, so I have disrupted your finishing your flight here by talking too much.
No worries. Now I'm about to land. I think the overall thing, Twixter, now that you're working on the new flight model from me as your tester, is XEnviro, and Magnus is here on stream with us, is very stable. Okay, I just don't have the same abrupt winds. Andre did an excellent job to smooth out the wind changes and things. Okay, if you go back tomorrow sometime and you watch through the video, you'll see the difference between how X-Plane real weather works and how XEnviro reacts with the Zibomod, or Zibomod with the weather. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So just bear it in mind when you're working on the flight models. I presume you're making the flight model in X-Plane real weather. You don't use an add-on?
Yeah, I do, because that is of course the core product
Yes.
that most users have. It's the same thing as like when I'm using my flight controllers. I use a Thrustmaster throttle,
Yes.
and yet I've got a flight simulator center TQ sitting
Yes.
right next to my desk, and I don't use it
Yeah.
because that's not the TQ that 98% of the people are going to be using. So,
Yeah.
But I agree that, as we discussed, the issue has a large degree to do with variable
Abrupt.
winds.
Yeah, abrupt changes.
Yeah,
man.
and the way gusts and stuff are handled, especially the shear component. They need to, as far as I'm concerned, get rid of the shear component altogether, because
Yes.
the shear component is automatically built into when you have variable winds and you have a gust.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those create shear component. You don't add shear component on top of that in real life.
Yes, I understand.
But yeah, when I use the other weather, or what's the XP? Not XP realistic. What's the
XEnviro?
Yeah. Well, I don't use XEnviro. What's the other one? We were
Active
talking
Sky.
about it
Active
recently.
Sky. Active Sky. Is it not Active Sky?
Maybe I am using XEnviro. God, I gotta go back and look. I haven't played with it because I've been doing real weather for the last couple of months. Also, I have two different computers. One that does my visual for my simulator, my wraparound simulation. That one has the aftermarket. The one that I use for flight modeling doesn't have any add-ons.
Okay.
Except for XP Realistic,
Yes,
which is where my
gotcha.
sound comes from.
Yeah.
So,
Just give me a second, Twixter. Give me a
but
second.
I noticed that when I use that other product, and it's weather generator, same thing you're saying. It's much more
It's stable. Yeah, give me a second. Magnus, I think we gave him a copy of XEnviro before. Twixter, I'm sure we gave you a copy of XEnviro before. I'll check.
Honest?
Yeah, I'll check the DMs. If we didn't, we can organize you one. But I'm pretty sure we did, Magnus. I'll check the DMs. Give me a couple of minutes after the flight. We'll check. Then quickly, Christopher, thanks for your input there. I know you're a medical guy, and you know exactly what Twixter is talking about there. Vaughn, just to come back to you, I've spent thousands of hours helping to make this aircraft. That's why my channel is dedicated to the Zibomod. Okay, so me and Twixter and Zibo come a long way, and that's why I spend so much time in Zibo, and I'm glad you like the stream, that it's Zibo related and not PMDG. I do PMDG as well, but obviously I'm not involved with that development team. My heart lies here. That's why 99% of the videos on the channel is Zibo related, just to put you in picture. Okay, so I'm actually part of the team. Right, Scotsman, good luck. All the other guys, hang tight. We're going to land just now. Twixter, I'm on less than 10 mile final, eh?
Yeah, well, you need to go, how do you say,
Sterile cockpit.
protect your environment there. So anyway, I'll go off voice there, and it was good to talk to you. Sorry, it's been a while
Absolutely.
since I've been checking in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know where to find us. You just pop in when you're ready. Send me a PM. You know how to do it, and let me know anyway how it goes behind the scenes. Okay.
Indeed.
Okay. Thanks for stopping by. It was lovely having you here, Twixter.
Cheers. Have a good night.
Scotsman, a lot more fun in default weather. Depends on your definition of fun. Look, it's more lively in the real weather, right? In explained real weather, because of all those abrupt weather things that we were talking about, you know. And in X-Enviro, it's obviously smoothed out a little bit. So yeah, it depends on your definition, I suppose, your perspective. But I mean, you can see, yeah, now that we're getting down, look, we've got a 25 knot there from 1 o'clock. You know, so I know you. Yes, you're right. The aircraft is obviously having to battle that wind now. Now it's 22 knots. So we still have a bit of a fight on our hands here.
Approaching 2-3.
DFW spotter, I'm biased to explain 12. This is explain 12. I'm loving it. I hardly fly MSFS 2020 at all. My heart lies here, and because of the work I do with this aircraft, you know, this is where I spend most of my time. Look at that crab. Look at that crab. Wow.
100.
Think rate. Think rate.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
How's that for center line? I have no idea where the trees are. Remember, this is my second copy of Explain. This is not my... No, I'm lying. This is actually my main copy. I don't know. Now you've got me worried. We'll have to go and look for the trees, see where they are. I have no idea. They should be there. I got a new version of X-Organizer today, and it could be that there's a scenery layering issue now again, eh? Thinking out loud. It could be that it's messed up the scenery a bit, but hang on. There's trees. There are trees. They're just not abundant. Not sure why not. AD, thank you very much. Thank you, John. And Akbar. Thank you, Neil. Christopher. Well, I would love XP a lot more if I could get AO to work, lol. I tried using the method you said in the stream, but it still didn't work. Okay, so DFW spotter, this is your answer. Come to Discord sometime when you see me there, or we'll make arrangements for next weekend, right? And then I'll help you get it going, because it's easy. It should be easy. There shouldn't be anything to it. It should really be pudding and pie. And you see, my AO is not working yet. There's definitely an issue since running the latest X-Organizer, guys. See, there's no AO here, nothing. And my AO is definitely... Oh, it's not running. I didn't run it. Okay, my bad, sorry. So that's probably part of the issue now. It's not getting all the information it should. You know, simple mistake. Anyway. But EFW, come talk to us. We'll sort you out here on Discord. You're welcome, Steve. No, I forgot to start AO apparently. I do apologize. I'm so used to doing it, but you guys remember what happened? I was in a different model of X-Plane that didn't support AO. It wasn't installed there, so I didn't run it. Then I started this one, and obviously in between, I never even thought of starting it. You know, in the back of my mind, it was running already. Thanks, Abiulo. Yeah, there's a lot of guys on here that we've helped that actually understand how the AO works. So you don't also necessarily have to wait for me. I promise you, you know, guys like Abiulo can really help you too. So pop in, ask, you know, but the offer is there. You're welcome to come and chat with us. Okay, well, we made it. Thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate it, and it was such a nice treat to have Twixter here with us. I really appreciated that. That is marvelous. Thank you,
that was
Owen.
amazing.
Yeah. You know, let me just see. Yeah, he's not in the room with us anymore. Twixter, I hope I don't, you know, make a mistake in saying this, but you know, we've gone back years, me and him and Zibo. And Twixter is one of those guys where we start talking. We talk for 3 hours, easy, because he's just got so much to say. He's like a walking encyclopedia, that guy. It's just amazing. Hello, Carl.
And he's still with us on the Discord.
Oh, there he is. Yes, he is. There he is. Twixter, I hope you don't mind me saying that, but I always love chatting with you. It's long.
Still here.
Yeah, I love chatting with you for hours and hours. Remember, I mean, it's been going for years now. Et al. Hello, et al. Yes. We've got Twixter here with us, Carl, and we've had a wonderful chat today, man, and wonderful flight. We did the same flight twice. First time with Explain Real Weather, so Zibo can see the effect of his changes that he made in the role model. And we've also done it now, same flight with X-Enviro, just to see the difference. And then between Twixter and Zibo, they can decide, you know, next steps.
Sonic, I just had a question about X-Enviro.
Yeah.
And we kind of aligned with what we were saying, Scottman, but when going through the clouds, I saw that the airplane was not moving at all, no? So question is, it's probably X-Enviro also not necessarily introducing enough.
No, wait. Look at my stream. Maximum turbulence. I toned my turbulence down to 20%. Okay. And that was part of a test that we also did a while ago. All right. So if you feel you want a little bit more, you can change this. And this is one of the things that you do not have in the Explain Real World Weather. So it was on 20. Let's go double it. Let's just put it on 40 for the next flight. Okay. But in X-Enviro, you've obviously got controls that you can set, which you don't have in Explain Real Weather. In Explain Real Weather, it's raw, it gets thrown at you, and that's it. You have to deal with it, you know? Yeah. Sorry, I hope that changes your mind just a little bit, because yes, it was a bit stable. It was, look, there were 2 instances during the flight where it really, you know, you could see that yoke was moving, the flight director was moving. You know, there was times that it really reacted to it. But if you want more, you can just pull the slider.
Clear. Thank you very much.
Yeah. DFW, let me just quickly see. I clicked the wrong button. Sorry guys, I clicked the wrong button. What you need to do, okay, do me a favor, at the top left of Discord, you'll see there's a room called Start Here Rules. Go in there and click the little OK emoji so that you can get access to the server, please. If you don't click the OK emoji, you don't get access because it automatically assigns the rights and the rules and stuff to you. Okay, let me see, because it says you didn't. So let me just see again. Ah, okay, there it's turned your color. All right, okay, that's fine. All right, so yes, so what, remember I'm in Johannesburg, South Africa, right? So it is like, what's the time? It's 20 minutes past 11 p.m. I'm past my bedtime. So what we can do is come join us. Okay, come quickly join us. I'll spend 5 or 10 minutes with you. Let's see if we can get that thing going. Otherwise, we're going to have to do it in the week or over the weekend, okay? If you don't mind, please. You know what? Stick this taxiing. We don't need the taxi. Yeah, if you've got a moment, come now. Come join us. I'll stop the stream shortly. And then we can see if we can quickly get you going on the AO. We can do a replay just for Scotsman. Let's see if it works. If it crashes out, I do apologize, Scotsman.
He has been asking every time.
I know. The problem is with XEnviro, it doesn't like replays. We are fortunate and lucky it seems to be working now. So there you go. AO is auto. Look at that grabbing. That wind, I was battling that wind. Look at that. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, well, that's a replay issue. That didn't happen in real, not while I was flying, but it broke that nose wheel. Can you believe it? Oh, it's not broken. It actually goes underneath the scenery. Look, you see what it did? Yeah, it was, hey, Magnus. I'm lazy and I'm tired. AO is AO, man. Owen. Yeah, you're welcome. It literally went in under that scenery. Silly, eh? That looks ridiculous. Go one last one. All right, okay. Let me kill the stream. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Twixter. You were amazing as always. Thanks for joining us. And Zibo, thank you for the update, sir. I think this video showing both of the weather engines will give you guys something to think and chat about, and then get back to us for more testing. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening wherever you guys are. We'll chat soon again. Bye bye.
Take care, Nico.
Thank you, sir.